Well, good evening. It is Wednesday. I always love this when Brandy says it's October the 4th. We got the day right. Welcome to your sales coordinator to SSC call tonight. My name is Tanya Englert, and I'm going to be your fill-in host for the evening. I feel like it's a game show, so we're going to have some fun. Okay, so I have some notes here that I got from Brandy and Jamie, and they were telling me you guys are supposed to have finished watching Tony Robbins. Has everybody got to that? You guys all in? I get a thumbs up. That'll make this easier. Okay, does anybody have any big takeaways that they got from like the latter portion of this, of the video that you guys watched? If you do, go ahead and unmute yourself and share with the group. Don't make me call on somebody. I can play the Jeopardy music. I'm chatty, but this is your guys'.
I will jump in.
Okay.
I'll mute my.
No, go ahead, Brenda. You go ahead. I talked a lot last week.
Well, you hear a lot about, doing your circle. And I liked his explanation because I'm trying to do this on my own thinking, okay, now I know that Jamie says this is not too hard. First of all, on Jamie's picture she sent, I didn't realize that it was, that each little pie was broken down. I thought she had circles going around, and until I looked at it closer, I saw what she was talking about. And so it was great to watch him explain that a little better, and how, the different shapes of our little pies and what we figure as our life can be very chaotic if we're a 1 and a 3 and then we're a 9 and we're an 8. So to get it all in balance, regardless of what the number is, to get in balance, our life will be a lot less hectic, and we can get through it much smoother. So I enjoyed listening to that and understanding mine. I put mine together.
Go ahead.
I put mine together, but I can already see where there'll be some changes and different things. I redid it 3 times. So
that's okay. And that's what I was going to say. Like, if you have one, I mean, for me in the wheel of life, like one of mine, like the highest is family. And so it was easy for me to identify that. But, and when I drew that dotted line and knowing that I'm trying to get the rest of those categories up into that line, I know that that's always going to be changing. It's going to be ebbing and flowing. But I want to ask you guys this. Well, first of all, let's go ahead and I'll ask, the same thing. Does anybody have anything else that kind of jumped out at them for the latter part of this, the Tony Robbins video?
I liked the chunking series on how to prioritize and put things into. It just made it may be 55 tasks, but when you break it down and look at what can be done together, and even saying no is okay, and I've got to get to be that, but it's a process.
It is a process, and I love that too. I think for us, I put things in a calendar, and I'm sure I'm like everybody else, but then, you've got these 50 million other things floating around in your head. And so if you can just write it all down on the paper, we actually did this as a family on Sunday, and then we kind of like chunked things into a group. And so it was great. This went a lot smoother than most weeks. So I think that's really good. And there's some different pieces of this RPM that I know that you guys will get kind of down the road too, which will take that chunking piece, take the pie, the circles, and kind of put it all together. And that's when the real magic starts happening. And it just gives you really clear action steps. Like Brenda said, like you redid it 3 times, and those numbers, whether it's, in your business, and we'll be getting that for a little bit later too, but those are going to change as your skill sets change inside of those. So anybody else have anything that jumped out at them?
Well, I just want to piggyback on that, Tanya, because I've had an incredibly I don't know, chaotic almost week where I'm just like, oh my God, I'm supposed to be doing this homework, but I feel like I can't chunk in the time to even do the homework. But when I sat down, it is so true that it decreases stress levels immensely when you take that and put it on paper versus like bouncing all of those different thoughts around in your head, because they're just, oh yeah, and I had to do that, and oh yeah, and I have to do that, and whatever. And when it's just all there in that one little subsection category, like it was immediate stress reduction as soon as I was able to make the list and then take that list and put it into those chunking things. Like it was amazing that in 30 minutes I felt like I could breathe.
That's awesome, Maria. That is awesome. And then we get to be present, like inside of those things instead of having things chaotically running around. B, I see that you have your hand raised. I'm sorry, I was not paying attention to that. So please unmute and jump in.
Okay, it's okay. I think I'm unmuted. I can't tell. Okay.
Sure.
So one thing that he said, and I can't remember how this came about, but I actually started and thought I can use this in an event. He said, if you don't concentrate or if you don't constantly focus on your health throughout your life, does it get better or does it get worse? And of course the answer is it gets worse. And then he goes, so you can't afford not to concentrate on it. So I just thought that was just awesome for us in our group. I just wrote that down. I thought, I'm going to use that.
Well, and I know that there are probably some, like depending on the season of life, it's easy to get in like that physical movement part versus, like for me, that's one of the pieces that would go the quickest because it was the easiest for me to eliminate, to put more on family or to put more on my business. And so, no, you're right. And so I want you guys to take this a bit further, and you guys get to, if you haven't already, invest in some really fun highlighters. So I don't know if you guys have these or not, but, you guys colored your wheels? Has anybody done this? Okay, so this is what I would like for you guys to do is take your wheel and color it. Like blue, I told you was mine, which was family. You can, okay, the colors don't mean anything, but they mean something to you. Please know that there is not one specific color for one category, okay? So I want you guys to go ahead through your categories and highlight them so you have a color design to that. Then I want you to apply this to your calendar, okay? So for me, I kind of did it retrospectively the first week, and I'm going to show you this, and please don't get crazy, but you see that? Here we go. Okay? So what you're going to do is like whenever you start having family time, you're going to highlight that family time in that color. So what it does, it gives you a really quick glance, because this is what I was guilty of. Like, I think I'm doing my business this many hours a week. But when you look at it, you're going to really see, are you really doing your business if you set out to do it 20 hours a week? If you're doing it in stolen moments and like 15-minute segments, like you can see how that adds up by the end of the week. I know in our group, we had some individuals that were like, man, I really stink. Like, I don't get any joy or have any fun in my life. And that's important too, to fill up. For me, like I said, mine was the physical activity. Well, now I know if I don't have red in almost every one of my days, -2, like it's a visual reminder that I need to get my head in the game in that. So do you guys have any questions about that? No, we're all good? Yay! So that's really how I want you guys to kind of step forward into this as far as implementing that wheel of life, okay? The next thing I want to kind of talk to you guys about is taking that, and I want you to use what we just learned in this wheel of life, and I want you guys to think about your 3 one-year goals. You guys were supposed to have posted those in your Facebook page, correct? If you haven't done that, I would really encourage you to get in there and post them in your Facebook group, your 3 one-year goals. And so when you look at those 3 one-year goals, keep that in mind, and when you go back to your colors, you can see, like, does it line up? Does it match? I say that, like in order to do X, Y, and Z, I have to be out in my community meeting new people. I have to be working my business, and, I need to be working on my health. And if you don't have those colors consistently, it's a great visual to be able to say, this doesn't line up. So any questions on that? Does that make sense? Okay. I'm like, please stop me. I talk fast sometimes, but I get really excited about this. Because we're busy. We really are. Maria, I love what you said. Like it decreased your stress. And I think that, how many of us have got to the end of the month and we're like, we had set these goals and we had set these intentions, and then it didn't happen. And then we get frustrated, and then shame and this guilt kind of starts coming in. And this is a great way to kind of track that as we go, because it's a very quick visual. And not to mention, how many times as an adult do you get to color? Here's your opportunity. Okay? All right. So, anybody want to say anything about their 3 one-year goals and their Wheel of Life circle? You don't have to raise your hand, just unmute and talk.
The only thing I have to say about mine is, like, I want juicier words like he talks about. And so I think, you know, I didn't put mine in the Facebook group. I didn't know we were putting them in there. I didn't even think about that. But I think if putting them in there, everybody can help me pick out juicier words, because I'm pretty sure some other people would come up with a lot fiery words than feistier words than I have. So I think that's a great idea.
Juicy words are great. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. Anybody else?
So I saw with mine, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was just really kind of blown away by like how uneven everything is. So, I mean, like I really, really have been focusing on my health and my fitness, and it's like my health and my fitness and my family are much, much higher than everything else is way, way lower, because I've been really, really focusing on that. But my business has been suffering, I think, because of everything being so uneven. So I think that's it for that. But yeah, so that was my realization, is that I was like, wow, that's really, really, really off balance. So
I think this exercise it's really eye-opening. You know, it's that kind of like that missing link that a lot of us have been looking for inside of all of that. Yeah, people say they're having trouble hearing, so I don't know if you guys make sure your sounds are talked up. I don't know if you guys can hear me okay. Okay, I'm loud anyway, so, but I own that. Okay, anybody else want to share anything?
Well, I'm in a little bit, I guess I'm kind of in the middle as far as I don't have grandkids and my kids have graduated. So I'm having to kind of reevaluate where my family time is spent, because I don't want to say there's not a lot of it. It's just my kids are in school now. So that's kind of where their life has taken them. So just reevaluating a lot of relationships.
And especially when that's important to you, and if that fills you up, then I don't know. I think for some people, I know for me, that's my family is a very big driving force. And I know if I don't have that connection with them, then it does affect me in different areas of your life. So I think that's good that you identified that, and you may have to look at it a little bit of a different way.
There's just more time, I guess. Like everything that you go from 90 miles an hour running to every practice and game and event and baccalaureates and graduations to, wow, they're in college and kind of building their own futures, and you go, wow, what do I do this time?
And then you have withdrawals.
And I'm busy, but at the same time, just kind of reevaluating relationships and where I am in my personal life now that I've done mommy mode, just kind of refilling that, and where, I mean, I even went as far as to look at identifying where I could work in each one of the areas of the wheel.
That's why your chart looks legit, Kim. I'm all over here like, mine is so simple. Oh my gosh, I need to up my game. If I could just get kids off of me for 37 seconds, I might be able to finish a thought to put it in this freaking chart. So.
Well, Kim inspired me to fill mine in
in the training room, so I kind of had a little bit of time. I'm not real artsy craftsy, so my wheel is a little not circular, but the words were good in it.
It's good though. See, so you got that going for you, right?
Thank you.
This is where you guys each get to shine individually. It's all good. And I think that, Kim, you pointed out a really important thing. Like, as we go through those different stages in life, Brenda already talked about that too. Like, those things are going to shift and change. And you have a really unique opportunity here where, like Heidi was talking, she's still running full 90 mile an hour in mom mode. You get to kind of find out what makes Kim tick, and, and kind of get in touch with that a little bit more. And what does that mean for you? Maybe one of your other areas grows, a lot more. So I think that's really, really good. Anybody else want to say anything?
I'll share.
Yeah, go for it, girl.
Can you hear me?
I can.
So I actually found it a little depressing. It wasn't a stress relief when I dumped everything out. It was like, oh my goodness, like, and then to try and like coordinate, like I feel like I'm an organized person to begin with, and to really like color code and draw it out, I'm not. And so I had to like, I went to Brandy like, oh my goodness, like this is horrible. And so I had to really find ways to praise myself. And then also I redid my Wheel of Life, because at first I was rating myself really high, and then I had a life event happen in between, you know, now and then. And then that area that was really high became really low, like suddenly. And so it was really like, I think it was good, but it was like really good for me. But initially it was depressing and a little overwhelming.
It can be, I know. And especially when you look at that Zoom and it's like 2 hours long and it's a lot to digest. But, you know, there was this great Kerry Daigle at the very beginning of the year. We were able to learn from him a lot of the leadership. And he made a comment. He's like, if you're just going to read or listen to something, that's all you've done is read or listen to it. But he's like, study it. If you truly want to get better, study it. You know, and that's really what I encourage you guys to do, is really dig into this. And there's a lot of different pieces that you can do inside of this RPM. And I know that that will be coming in the future after we kind of get through these life circles and stuff. But it was so empowering for me to really almost take this Wheel of Life circle, and we're going to transition into this business circle, and take that and really step into it and make action plans in each one of those areas. Because whenever you have steps, you know, you dump all that information out, and then you kind of like boom, 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 what can I delegate to somebody else? And it frees you up a lot inside of that. And, you know, oh, we're not even going to get into that. That's a whole nother conversation. He's talking about control. Anybody else want to say something? Somebody's got some background feed. There we go. I think that was better. Anybody else? Okay. So now this is going to step into your homework for next week. And if you guys aren't talking, just make sure you guys have yourself muted, so that way that we don't get background. This is where we're going to start talking about some juicy words, okay? So you're going to do the same thing like you did for your Wheel of Life, but this is going to be your wheel for your business. And we kind of talked in, you know, and I want you guys to kind of have open conversation, because in our group, we talked about some general areas that we kind of all agreed on. And so I'm going to kind of open it up to you guys, and I can run down the non-juicy words or run down the juicy words, whatever you guys would like, for what we kind of picked. And as you guys are stepping into that leadership role, I want you guys to really be thinking about, like, what areas in your business do you feel like we can break this down into to kind of rate ourselves? Anybody want to go?
I say customer follow-up.
Okay, good one. Any other ones?
Marketing.
Time.
I heard marketing.
Personal sales.
Like customer acquisition, is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Attracting
Live events.
Yeah.
I heard events, and then I heard something else.
Growth, or just attracting prospects. Prospecting.
Yep. Okay.
Branding yourself online.
Okay.
Relationship
Attraction.
building.
Okay. What about what you're doing now, personal development? Do you think that's important? Okay.
Yes.
So you guys have thrown a lot of really good ones out. So I'm going to read to you kind of the areas that we picked. You guys, you do not have to pick these. Remember, this is your business. This is where, like I said, we started kind of throwing in some juicy words. I think, Stephanie, you were the one that said about the prospects, and we put prospect attraction. So what does that mean to you? How well do you feel like you are attracting new prospects? So that's one category. We then went to over-the-top customer experience. And then we decided, so I think this really depends on where you are, and it, and we added a kind of a subcategory next to that as a Shred 10 experience. How good do you feel like you are in utilizing the Shred 10? And do you want to? I think that you have to have a serious conversation with yourself about that. What does that mean to you? So we've kind of taken care of prospects. We've taken care of the customers. We then transitioned and we used a powerful new distributor experience. And then we kind of put in parentheses behind that 60 days. Powerful new distributor experience in the first 60 days. Because we always talk about having this positive income experience. And so look at where do you feel like you are in that category in providing that. The next one we talked about was empowering leaders. You guys are all at the sales coordinator level. You have distributors underneath of you. What can you do to empower them? Have you guys all read the Big Owl book? I don't know if have you guys done that in this group or done it before? Okay, perfect. So really kind of have that in the forefront of your brain. Like, what can you do to help get them to transition from that distributor to leadership position? Is that a shift in you? I know for me, I love to talk. So it's easy for me to get in the front of a room and it's easy for me to talk. But I know for a lot of years, I don't want to use the word hurt, but I didn't rise my people up. I just kept talking, so like, how do you feel like you are at empowering your leaders? And then the last category that we added was personal growth and development. And so you guys, we talked about customer follow-up. I'm going to kind of go down the list. Marketing, I think, that kind of depends. You're going to have that in a lot of different categories that you're going to have. So that may be a subcategory that you kind of break out whenever, you can do the specific RPMs and write them out if you want. Events, it's so funny. I don't remember who brought that up, but that was the one that I brought up too the other night. And then we got to thinking too, it's like, okay, but you're going to have events for, prospects. You're going to have events you're going to invite your customers, and then you have events for team building. And so, there are a lot of different, and again, I feel like that's a subcategory that kind of goes in each of those. We talked about prospect attraction, branding yourself. I think that's a great one. And I think that really fits in that prospect attraction pie piece. Relationship building, again, I think that really goes in like a lot of those different categories. But again, make this your own. If there are juicier words, I'm so glad, Laura, you brought that up. Because we talked about that too. We're like, we need more juicy in our lives. Like, just, I don't know. I think it's fun. Like laundry. Laundry's not, I like doing laundry, especially in my clean laundry room, Laura, right? But anyway, but when you can come up with something fun, I'm the queen. I need to put on a little crown when I do my laundry. I don't, but So, that's really
Tanya,
what?
do you mind real quick going over those categories that you did again? My little spider monkey was climbing on me and I missed a few of what you said.
Hey, just for the spider monkey, Mom, I will definitely repeat them. My door is locked, otherwise I'd probably have them on me, and mine are teenagers. So, okay, the first one is prospect attraction, over-the-top customer experience, Shred 10 experience, powerful new distributor experience, and then like I said, 60 days is kind of that window we talked about, empowering leaders, and professional growth and development. And so you are welcome. And so this is the story I'm going to share with you guys, because I feel like transparency is something that is vitally important inside of all of this. And I've been in this business for 11 years, and I was sales coordinator for a really long time. And there were a lot of different things that switched inside of me, and I fast-tracked to senior sales coordinator. And Brandy said, she's like, Tanya, I use your example all the time. you know, that you went slow, and then you decided to go fast. Well, as I was going through this, and especially when I got to that 60-day, you know, powerful new distributor experience, like my brain glitched and I was like, holy cow, like I've had in my head this pattern of going slow. And so what that then led me to is that's a place that I need to grow. So what do I need to do? I reached out to my NMDs, my uplines, and I said, this is where I know I need to grow my skill set. Who do I need to plug into? Where do I need to go to learn these skills? And then they kind of provided that opportunity. So be honest. That's what I really encourage you to be honest with yourself on this, because this, I will tell you, in all the things that I've done, I absolutely fallen in love with this because it has been so eye-opening, whether it's painful at times, Kelsey, or it's freeing at times, Maria, you know, like really be open to, why is this put in your lap? Why is it that you're being gifted this information now? Because I'm telling you, it's just such a great fundamental piece, and I cannot wait for, as the next troops start rising up, to be able to teach them these skills too, so that they can identify these things and maybe not stay stuck, you know, for as long as I did, you know. So anybody have any questions? I want to value your time, and we are doing good with 3 minutes to go. Y'all are quiet.
Hey, Tanya.
Yes, dear.
So you use Passion Planner, right?
I do.
How do you, I feel like there's too many places to write things. Like,
okay.
I've got like the month and then like the week breakdown. This is a silly question, but like, do you carry everything over from your month to your weeks, or how do you do that with like
okay, no, I think this is a great thing. So I write, and I've changed a little bit since this RPM. I'm very anal. Everybody had their own color code for everything. So all my kids have their own color. And now I write everything in normal pen, and then I go back and I highlight my areas. So my kids still stay in colors. I put everything on the big month calendar that needs to be, because that way at a glance, but then I keep all my specifics in the timelines, just for organization purposes. Does that help?
Mm-hmm. It does.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Love all your shiny faces. No more questions? Well, I want to value you guys' time, but I'm telling you, you have me for a few more minutes if you want to ask me anything else. I don't know that I'll get the opportunity to come back and play with you guys again.
Hey, Tanya. I have a question for you. So as far as meeting new prospects and or when you bring someone into the team, just getting that powerful new distributor experience, I feel like that's an area that I struggle. You know, I've tried several different avenues. You know, like I've tried the hand holding, I've tried the sending them to Team Empire. I've tried a lot of different things, and I don't know if it's just maybe a timing thing or I'm not really sure. I just can't seem to get people to the 2,000 plus. Like HLP we can do, and then we get stuck.
Okay,
Stephanie, I feel the same way.
Okay.
I love this question, Stephanie. Thank you. So I'm going to ask you guys this question, and you just give me a quick thumbs up because it'll be the easiest. How many of you have written out your vision statement? Okay, so some of you have, right? So there was this quote that Brian Marsh said the other day, and Stephanie, this is not the end all to fix all. Sorry, I have trouble talking and seeing the little pop-ups. Brian Marsh had this quote, and so I'm going to say it, and if you need me to repeat it, because I feel like it is that valuable. The idea is not to do this business with everyone that wants Juice Plus. The idea is to do this business with everyone that believes what you believe.
Yikes.
I know, right? So I'm going to repeat that because this was a huge eye-opener for me over the last week. The idea is not to do this business with everyone that wants Juice Plus. The idea is to do this business with everyone that believes what you believe. And so, you know, I'll just tell you, for me, what shifted in my brain is I feel like I was looking for people that I knew needed money, that I knew, you know, needed this community, that, I don't know, like, it was just weird. Like, I was searching, and I was like, instead of that, like, you know, and I'll just kind of share with you guys, and I shared a little bit of this that day, you know, like, my vision statement, I believe that we have the right to wake up every day with health and passion and purpose. And we have, you know, it's our mission to work hard, but to work hard on our family's dreams, not someone else's agendas and goals. And I envision a life where we all have a choice to be present in someone's life without having to ask somebody else's permission, to give and to go when we want and how we want. And I'm passionate about teaching others a simple system so that they can chase their dreams and be present in those moments, to inspire them to go out in the world and do small things with great love, to leave a legacy, inspire a legacy. And at the end of the day in your life, like, someone will say, my life is better because of you. And so, you know, like, I want to find people that they don't want to have to ask their boss permission to go watch their kids play on a field trip. You know, that they're tired of listening to somebody else and they've had that dream of being their own boss. And so, I don't know, it shifted in my brain on how I'm looking at people and how I'm talking to people. And so did that help, Stephanie?
Yeah, that helps. I think you know, my struggle is I find people all the time and they say they want that. You know, then
it'll be good.
So yes.
I feel like too, we have to get better at asking really tough questions. Like, what is it that you really want? And then the same thing, you know, being able to introduce these tools. Like, I'm sorry, anybody can draw a circle. You can, you know, like, and say, where do you feel like these areas are? And then you see what they do in the first couple weeks. And, you know, I was privileged to go through Corporate's BLP Plus program, the Brave Leaders. And, you know, sometimes we got to ask braver questions and just say, like, you know, you say this, but this is what you're doing. So can you just help me, you know, kind of figure this out? Because it's also, for me, I struggle with this. It's a control thing. I feel like I have to do it all or drag them along or whatever. And it's very freeing when you just kind of let go of that and know that if they really want this, they're going to do it. That's the reason these people are exploding with these jackpot businesses. It comes with us being able to paint the vision and then being, you know, like, that's inspiring them, and then they're running with it. So I don't know, it really tweaked. That one quote was like, it was really, really good. Trying to see if I have any more.
What I've been finding that's been helping, even with customer acquisition, that type of thing, is just that what we talked about in that big, whoever's book, Big Tom, Big George, Big Al, God, I can't remember. It was Big somebody, but just doing the test with them, saying, okay, you know, like, take a peek at this. I'll get back with you tomorrow. And if they haven't taken a peek at it, all right, they're not really that serious. Or, you know, the ones who say, I want to do this business. Okay, I need you to contact this many people by tomorrow. I'll follow up with you then. And if they haven't done it, you kind of know right away where they stand, so you're not sitting there in limbo. But I've been implementing that even with my customer acquisition, at less words and just giving them the work and saying, I'm going to follow up now or whenever. And it's just really been, it's been a positive thing. It's really been working well. So I need to morph that into all areas.
Right. And I think another thing that I'm, you know, and we have about a minute and a half left, ladies and gentlemen, so we'll kind of wrap this up. But, you know, so when you sit down with that new rep and you're like, you know, helping them put out their first product post, and it's like, what do they want? You know, helping them draft their vision for this business. And then, you know, asking that question, is there anything stopping you from putting these 2 posts out in the next 48 hours? Because if they glitch, you got to ask some more questions. So I don't know. I just be brave, because you know what? There are a lot of people out there that see the same things that we see. We just got to go. We got to find them. So
I love that quote so much. It's awesome.
It is an awesome quote. All right, guys, I will sign off. I know we went a little bit over, but I want to respect your time. So thank you so much. I will get this recording to the girls, and they will upload it in your Facebook group as soon as I can. But I want to thank you guys for letting me be a part of your Wednesday night call.
Thank you.
Thank you,
You're
Tanya.
an awesome
Bye,
facilitator.
Good night, ladies.